Yeah, that was an interesting character, right? Because he was like this bumbling guy who was actually not. He was kind of setting you up the whole time, letting you underestimate him, acting like, pardon me.
Yeah,
But another.
he's always about to leave,
Yeah.
but he's like,
Yep.
oh yeah, and he comes back.
And he's annoying people and like,
Wonderful stuff. And like the other day, I'm watching this episode that Jonathan Demme directed, Steven Spielberg. I mean, like all of these famous directors start to cut their teeth in TV and like episodic things like that. But there's a real tone to it and stuff that's cool and the way everything looks. But one other funny thing about it that I've noticed in Columbo is that it always starts with a murder, and then usually a lot of times in the arc of the story, someone shows up to the crime scene. Usually whoever did it or whatever, right? And so, but they're never upset. You know, there's never someone that runs up, what happened here? Your uncle's been murdered. Oh, I didn't do it. You know, like it's kind of like how it starts instead of some dramatic, you know, like, oh my God, you know, how could this, you know, no one's even fake. They're just like, okay, well, you're bothering me now. You know, in cop shows, you can always tell police, even SVU, they're always like, I've had enough. Can you guys leave? And they leave. I'm like, is that how it goes? I don't know.
no. It's weird how many of those shows there are where they catch the bad guy. Like that is, it's like something that I guess people with anxiety need to let them feel like if someone is a bad person, then they commit a murder, they're going to get caught.
Like are the interest in those kind of dark scenarios? Yeah. You're only interested in them when there's justice at the end. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Because anything nebulous or whatever is like too real, maybe.
Yeah, there's those shows, and then there's medical shows. Remember when there was a time where like every other fucking show on TV was about a hospital?
Yeah. And the only one that I really remember is Quincy. So Jack Klugman yelling at everyone, he's yelling about the sandwich, he's yelling about the blood sample. And when we were kids, we were hardcore. We were in, that initial phase of American kind of hardcore punk stuff. Because we had just missed out the 77, 78, 79. And then there was an episode about the LA scene, and Quincy goes to the punk club. Don't you see what you kids are doing to yourselves with the loud music and the anger and the pills or whatever? He and there was a thing when we were kids, and there was a song. I forget which band did it. But if you were fake if you were a Quincy punk, because they took like the way people looked on Quincy or whatever, and that instantly became
a fake punker.
Yeah, you're bullshit, man.
When you started out, like what was the inspirations for your band? Like what were you guys into?
I mean, it's hard to untangle because my dad was a singer, so our dad was a singer, and he was my dad's a kind of a strange guy in general, a lovely guy, but dynamic to say the least. But he had like a hit in the late 50s called Boom a Dip Dip, like a top 40 kind of record, and a couple of subsequent sort of rock and roll singles when he was living in New York and stuff. And then when that kind of pales out, and then he moves back to Atlanta and he immerses himself in like the folk music scene, and he was signed to a label called ABC Paramount. So by the time I come along in '66, it's kind of he's not doing it anymore.
What was he doing?
He was schmata guy. He was in the middleman. He was like Willie Loman, He was in the garment business. My grandfather, Ike Robinson, they were in children's wear. My dad was in women's wear, and then ended later back in children's wear. But the one thing around the house that I remember, earliest memories, are him pulling out his guitar and singing folk songs. And just, I don't know, I'm a dyslexic person, and so you know what I mean? So there was, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but there was something about always singing these songs. It would like open up stuff for me, almost like being high or in a and not in a psychedelic way, but in a way that it changed the space. You know what I mean? And records started doing that to me very early. And that kind of is where, so it's kind of, we think it's normal. Other kids' dads aren't playing old folk songs at the house that I know, you know. But by the time Rich